We got the right to do that.
Yes, every single goddamn day. This motherfucker, he gonna take a picture of him sitting. My man went to he was in Dallas and he was at the stadium. Took a picture of himself on a star and sent it to us. So I'm like, motherfucker, what you got, a museum? Where you at? Like what? A fucking sorry ass team talking about
Yeah.
this is what a winner looks like. What you like? Win what?
They ain't winning 30
What
years.
the
Get
fuck
out of here.
you last time you won?
30
Who?
years ago.
Who are the world champions again?
I was
Like,
I was 10.
yeah. My man Steve. No, Steve. You know Steve. Steve was like, man, the last time these cats won is when y'all was beating y'all meat. Like,
That's
shut up.
facts.
You know what I mean, I'm like, shut up. Stop talking to me about the Dallas damn Cowboys. Nobody care about the Dallas Cowboys because your Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions, defending, reigning, undisputed heavyweight champions of the world. Your Philadelphia Eagles and Gambling Knights. Let's go. Want to welcome everybody to another episode of the Late Night Pod with my guy, my brother. Be humble. What's up, bro?
What's up, brother? I'm out here
good, man.
stalking this OKC first half. I got them in the play.
Oh yeah, you started looking at some basketball
90
basketball plays.
seconds left, and I got a money line in the first half to close out some of these tickets. So I'm like watching a little bit.
Yeah. All right.
So, mom,
Well,
if you see me looking over,
yeah, right. Motherfucker, what you looking at? What you looking
they're
at?
up 5. 3 ball coming
What's
off of
what's
OKC. Bang! We can lock that up. Let's Millie rock that. Let's Millie rock that.
what was the number?
It
Oh,
was,
you got money
I
line.
just
You
had
said
a money
money
line
line.
parlay. Yes, I had
Yeah,
a money
money
line
line
parlay.
parlay.
I got them to win a full game by a money line parlay. This is 1 up 8, so that should be good under a minute.
No, okay.
So back to
Yeah.
those birds that we was talking about. You know,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, back to the show and just in
green.
general, man.
For sure.
Want to say welcome everybody to the Late Night Podcast. If you don't have a drink, pour yourself up a drink. I've been working on myself, bro, every day. I've been breaking it down. You know, we talk about weeks, months, years, but I'm just like, I'm gonna win the day. I'm gonna win the day. You know what I mean? So, got my water. If you out there, I usually have the brown and some licks, but I'm trying to do better on the late night. You know what I mean? Get a good night's sleep and get and attack the morning. But we here to attack the night. If you don't know, this is a show about all things sports, whether it be headlines, whether it be funny stories, whether it be sad stories. It's called Gambling Nights because we try to involve gambling stories, but oh man, the sports is the gift that keeps on giving with these storylines and everything that we got going on. So what we want to start with, all these videos we have not seen before. I go get videos and crop them and put them up, and then we give live reactions, and we hope you guys join in with us too. First on the docket is we're going to run through all the NFL free agent signings, everything that's going on in NFL right now. We got a lot to mow through. So we'll spend some time on some important ones that make sense, and then just kind of give updates on other ones like people like Aaron Rodgers, like who don't give a shit about Aaron Rodgers. You know what I mean? What the hell Aaron Rodgers doing? First thing we're going to do is what we talk about that man's hat is your, whether you like them or not, they are your defending world champions of the NFL, and that is the Philadelphia Eagles. And what do the Philadelphia Eagles do? Be the standard. The new golden standard is to sign your own. After 1 year, they reward Barkley with the richest contract for a running back ever, 20 plus mil, broke the barrier, broke the seal. Shout out to Mr. Barkley. You know what? Shout out to Mr. Lurie and Howie for getting that done and saying, look what this man did. He only had the greatest running back season ever in NFL history. Let's look at this thing and get that man a boost and a raise and pay him the way he should be paid. And I couldn't agree more here. And then we took care of our number one free agent as well, Mr. Zach Baun. All pro, got paid 3-year, $51 million, $35 million guaranteed. I'll tell you what, man, it's that kind of stepping out their box. They don't really play running backs. They really don't play linebackers. And what did they do? went ahead and paid them boys as they would because they performed. So if your team is watching this, you need to go right on the fan board of your team. Go watch the Eagles and how they handle business. Because this team is locked up for the next 2 to 3 years. And guess what? We're going to go get ourselves another one. And guess what? We're going to go back on Broad Street. And guess what? We're going to keep talking shit until the next season. All the way through. You ain't going to get rid of us. You can't. We're going to be a pain in y'all ass. If you're not an Eagles fan, we're going to be flying, flocking, making all kinds of Eagle noises all fucking year. And what shit? Summer come on, it's going to get worse. Motherfuckers going to be in Eagles jerseys left and right, taking it back to the 90s. So those were the first two I just kind of wanted to talk, kind of put out there. I know I'm pretty sure you don't have too much to add with that, but obviously well deserved. Both all pros, and Barkley, in my opinion, should have won MVP of the year.
Yeah, I think Saquon, that piece is even bigger than we think. I think we actually end up saving like $15 million on that deal.
We know, yeah.
So I'm not sure if that ended up going into Baun's pocket, which that could have been possible to maybe kind of lock in Baun with that next payday. But man, two big things that we did here for Philadelphia. Lets us know that we're still looking for the future. Let us know that this championship that we just received is not enough, and we're looking to keep this train rolling into next year and hopefully another 2-3 years while these guys are young and active. All our cornerstone pieces right now have been solidified, I believe. All of our big names: AJ, Saquon, Hurts, Devontae, Baun. We got 2 young guys that's on rookie deals. That's going to be, impact for the next 3 years. We're set up really good, man. We might even make our little run at that boy named Myles Garrett.
We're not.
We might. Hey,
no,
hey, I'm gonna say, we might.
Not. We're not. I seen that story come around, and we're not. And the reason why I'll tell you why we're not going for Myles Garrett because we got to pay Cam Jurgens. And we're going to more likely pay Jordan Davis. He won't be top money, but Cam will be. Cam Jurgens is going to be paid like a top center in the league.
What if Myles come on a 1 year like my man did down in Atlanta? Because he want to get here.
Well, he's got 2 years left on that deal, so you're going to have to restructure it anyway. So it's not like he's a free agent. So, but he's got 2 years left on the deal. So I think he plays it out and he just walks. I don't think they're going to. I don't. They just saw what Barkley did for us. Why are they going to sit there and watch Myles Garrett do that for us? Not even just us, or for anybody. You know what I'm saying?
Because you want to see Myles Garrett succeed. You want to see the best for him. If he's going to be anywhere better, he might as well come here.
Like that video between the GM of the New York Giants and Barkley will be burnt in history forever.
Well, how about that?
The biggest flop, just the biggest this is why you don't let your best player go.
But how about that NFL Films and HBO Hard Knocks couldn't get an NFL team to take the offseason this year. They all declined because of the Giants offseason last year. They all declined because of what happened that day, what was happening with the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
No NFL team agreed to letting them come in, so they had to go to offseason down in North Carolina with Bill Belichick.
Yeah, I saw that they were doing North Carolina.
And that's because all NFL teams declined to do the offseason.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Good job, Giants. Fucking bums.
Fucking idiots. No, thank you, Giants.
Thank you, Giants.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Thank you, Giants. I'm sorry.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Fucking bums.
Yeah, appreciate you. And also in Eagles news, Mr. Slay got released.
He'll be back.
Yeah, I heard they said I saw him talking on his pod or whoever's podcast he was that if he had his choice and money's right, he wants to come back to the Birds. But this is a farewell for him, 1 more year. So we'll see where he lands up. I think they're going to release Bradbury. If I'm not mistaken, I thought I saw that as well. He got his ring. So he had 1 good year, right? 1 good year with us. Then kind of fell off. So that's all the Eagles news that I know of. Or there's no really big rumors as of right now. I think Sweat is gone. A lot of people are talking about Goddard, extending Goddard. I wouldn't. I think I would take Mayer, Michael Mayer from the Raiders. Yeah, from the Raiders. The old tight end, was that Notre Dame? Was he from Notre Dame?
Could have been.
Michael Mayer.
Yeah, Michael Mayer sounds
I
like Notre Dame. Notre
no, I
Dame
think
guy.
it was Notre Dame, right? Yeah, like 2 or 3 years ago. Still in a rookie deal, still young. It's just that Brock Bowers is there now, so there's nothing, you know, what I mean, there's nothing you can do about that. And speaking about the Raiders, that boy Max Crosby got paid 3 years, 106 million, became the highest non-quarterback player in the league with an average of 35.5 million. And that's why I say Sweat is more likely gone, because you got to pay Sweat 20 million now. For pass rushers, that just went up. So you're not going to pay Josh Sweat 20 million a year. More likely he's gone. But yo, I didn't know Crosby was like 26 years old, bro.
Yeah, good for Max, man.
That's a
Yeah,
youngin, man.
yeah, good for
That's
Max.
crazy.
Good for Max. I think he deserves it. He's he's been nothing but pretty much their best player for the last 5 years through all the ups and downs. I thought he was really trying to make his exit plan, but not when
Yeah,
190 million.
he kept dropping those hints, right?
Yeah, you can't drop 190. You said 190 million?
109.
Oh, 109. I'm about to say
Yeah,
190.
109
God,
for
damn,
over
that's
3 years.
quarterback number, but shit.
Yeah,
Hey,
over
3 years,
years.
109 for a defensive end. You're
Yep.
gonna do a lot of partying, baby. Man, enjoy.
Yeah. A lot of smoking too. A lot of smoking. Yeah, that boy be getting high. And other NFL kind of news and stuff, the Bears doing some moves with tackles. They got
Yeah.
Tunney from KC in a trade, and I forget who else. They traded for another, I think maybe a guard. I think it's Jonah Jackson. I think I forget where he's from, but I know the name. Was a trade for the Bears. Two good trades. The Bosa got cut from the Chargers.
Yeah.
That just happened. I know I think they said that was happening. Another kind of mainstay that's been around for a long time, Tyler Lockett in Seattle, got released as well.
Mhm.
And then right after Metcalf wanted to trade. So it's
I did
almost
see
like you about to blow up Seattle.
PK said he wanted to trade. Yep.
Yeah, Seattle's about to blow up, which is crazy to me. Because those two were always like mainstays there. And now that team is going to look completely different, more than likely, moving forward. And our favorite guy, Debo Samuels, got traded early to the Washington Commanders. Debo's washed to me. You know what I mean? He talked about being the guy and wanted to be a number one, and then you go to Washington when you're going to be another gadget guy. You're not going to be the guy. You know what I mean? You're just going to be somebody put in the backfield, somebody they put in the slot. So,
Yeah. I mean, if Debo's healthy, I think he's an impact. If he can't stay
yeah,
healthy, and that's what it is. So
he reminds me of a Percy Harvey who can just a big
hold
Percy
on.
Harvey.
Don't disrespect Percy Harvey because Percy was that guy. But
I
I get
mean,
what you're saying. Percy.
Debo healthy is that guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean? Is he as explosive as Harvey? No. You know what I mean? Because Harvey did a lot on special teams, but they put Debo back there on punt returns.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They put him back there running back. They put him back in
So
receiver.
welcome to the NFC East,
Yes.
Debo. All right.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got to say. Welcome. You don't do well on this side, so let's let him know. So I
In
guess if you
other
ain't got
news
beat him,
as
join him.
well, Sam Darnold not going to get tagged, so he'll be a free agent. Big name on the for quarterback needy teams. Also, Devontae Adams got cut, released from the Jets, and then his boy supposedly begging to stay in New York. Aaron Rodgers let go. Shout out to Aaron Glenn, black head coach for the New York Jets. Well deserved. Trying to think what else. I think that's all the top hitters. Oh yeah, I guess in the whole talk about Matthew Stafford. Stafford was looking maybe to go somewhere else. I think they said I read somewhere the Giants had a deal for him, and he turned it down for less money to go back to the Rams. After all that shit that his wife was talking.
New York, LA, New York.
I know, right?
I think I'll stay in LA.
Yeah. So, but they said they had a deal for him, and he reneged on the deal and said, "Fuck it, I'm coming back." So, more dates. I think there's uh was it free agency is March 13th, I think maybe
Yeah.
March 12th, I think, and legal tampering starts the 10th. So make sure you are following us on all social media platforms. We will be obviously sharing all kinds of information as those kind of happen. Um, Mostly Eagle stuff. So, you know, if something crazy happens, something hot happened, we'll talk about it. But if not, mostly Eagle stuff. Mostly Eagle stuff.
Go Birds.
Go Birds. Go
That's all
Birds.
that matters. We had the best day today.
And to speak about the combine, man, Shador Sanders
Mm.
calling his shot is how I felt like. I felt like it. A lot of kind of turmoil coming out of. I always have it in Indianapolis, right? Who was in Indianapolis this year?
Yes.
Yeah. Coming out of Indianapolis about how did Shador interview, and I want you. I haven't listened to this yet. I want you to listen to it, and then let me know how you feel about Shador Sanders moving forward.
Franchise or the coach that don't give me. So you should know history repeats itself over and over and over. And I've done it over and over and over. So it should be no question why NFL franchise should pick me. You think I'm worried about what critics say or what people gotta say? You know who my dad is? They hated on him too. So it's like it's almost normal. Without people hating, it's not normal for us. So we like the adversity. We like everything that comes with the name. That's why we are who we are.
Mm. So, like I said, word on the street that I was reading that he didn't really interview that well. It's hit or miss. Some people say he interviewed well and people liked him. Some people don't. And when I listen to that, he has that attitude and that swag about him where you either like him or you don't. You know what I mean? And I think that's what we're kind of gathering from what we're listening to. I don't mind the confidence. Like he said, my dad is Deion Sanders. I was bred for this. I was built for this. But your dad is probably on Mount Rushmore in football, and you're not. You're not your dad. That's the only thing. I think he could have a Teddy Bridgewater type career. In my head, I think he's a little bit better than average. He's good. He's got an NFL arm. He
Mhm.
just don't have all the other intangibles. Right? He's not that athletic. He's tough though. Right? Teddy was
Definitely
tough
tough.
too. Teddy
Definitely
took
tough.
some shots, and Teddy didn't have like Teddy. I don't think Teddy had a big arm, but Teddy was smart,
Mhm.
and I think Shador is a smart football player. Right? I think I get that, and he's got some toughness. So as long as he has that, you just got to deal with the swag. You just got to deal with that. That's Deion's son, and he's going to walk around and tell you that he's Deion's son.
Yeah.
Does it? It seems like
Listen,
I feel like you're a little
I'm
more
old.
old school. You're
Yeah,
you're
I'm
turned
old
off.
school. I'm more traditional. I never want to, especially as a black quarter, as any black athlete, I don't want to kind of dim their light, right?
Mm,
I think there's a lot of questions about Shador, not necessarily his athletic ability on a football field, but the question really comes down to, and then you're carrying this confidence, this swag, if you want to call it, or if you can, some may call it cockiness, and not understanding that you are interviewing for a job and you aren't the number one pick. And there are questions that are valid questions. You've always been coached by your dad. That's number one. That's number one. Nothing to do with Deion Sanders, nothing to do with the job he's done. He's done a great job. But Shador, you've always been coached by your dad. So the question is, can you not be coached by your dad? When I'm sitting in an interview room, I want to know, is this coach over here can coach you up? And if you're showing that you can't be coached up, if I'm not your dad, then that becomes a interview that's turning the wrong way. Especially when I'm going to be investing in the franchise, like you say, the franchise keys over towards you. Your daddy not going to be back there coaching. It's going to be coach A, B, or C that's going to be out there coaching. And you're going to have to get along with this coach. You can't run to your dad and say, "Hey, dad, he ain't coach me right," right? Unless they're going to bring Dion there too. So it's one of them things where it's a big investment for you and you're going to get all the spotlight. So you're going to be
for sure.
cameras rolling all day long because they want to know what you're doing or why aren't you not starting or why are you not playing or when he does, what's the relationship with the coach? And so a team has to really kind of make got to really feel confident they're gonna draft you, or they'd rather go with somebody else that they ain't got to worry about all that circus or media circus that's gonna come behind you. And I think that's what's happening here over the combine. And I think that was the wrong approach. If they were to ask me, I think that was the wrong approach with Shador. I'm sure his dad's gonna say be you, right? And that's fine. You can do that. At the end of the
Mhm.
day, your future is not in your hands. Your future is in other people's hands. In the past, your future is in your dad's hands, where he goes, you go, and everything like that. So it's a little different when you walk into the room. You need I would say it should have been more of, hey, listen, I can be coached by anybody. I'm very coachable. Um, I'm looking forward to meeting new guys and getting an opportunity outside of my dad. I know that's the idea, and that's what somebody wants to hear. And I think that's what happened during these interviews. Now he's going to be who he wants to be. He already got millions of dollars in his pocket. He's a forefront in social media, so he ain't got to worry about money at all. But I know his passion is football. I also give one last. I know I'm being a little long-winded.
You good?
There's tape you see go around with him and Cam Ward, right? That's been going on like all year. And what I'm noticing when I'm watching the tape, I'm seeing the work ethic difference. I see Cam always kind of bullying a little bit, but playing around with Shador and pushing him around a little bit, almost like big brother, little brother type of style between their relationship.
Mhm.
Obviously, I guess they've been running around a long time, but you can see a difference in Cam versus Shador's work ethic, and I think it's been put on tape. Hey, you're not, Cam saying you ain't working hard enough. We don't need no water. Come on, we out. No, you ain't ready. You ain't practicing. You ain't running. Like you're hearing all those conversations. These professional pros, these teams are looking at all that stuff just like I have, and I'm sure they're even more intense on seeing what kind of person is Shador out of Dion's I guess comfort. And I think that's what's happening. That's why you're seeing them. They're now talking about him getting to flipping all the way to the 20th pick or less or more.
Yeah, it'll be pretty wild to see him if he falls. It wouldn't surprise me if he falls out of the top 5
Yeah,
conversation. I always thought that boy Dart was nice.
sure. I think his abilities is
Yeah,
great.
and he's got a great arm. He's got he's got the intangibles. He's got the arm. He's got the size. Like he checks all the boxes.
Athleticism's little middle. It's a little
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
right. And what
Yeah,
happens, unfortunately, when you look at Caleb struggling, right? As athletic as Caleb Williams was and is, and he struggled.
yeah,
It's like, damn. Well, shit. Shador has half of that athleticism, and if it's gonna get rough, it's gonna get bad quick. But
yeah.
I always say I think you get him around a good old line, Shador would be an excellent passer.
I think he's gonna be a great. I think he's gonna be a good 10-year pro. That's what he looks to me. He looks
No,
like a
he's not. You
good
don't think he's a
10-year
star
pro. I think he can start, but
or
I think
star? You think he'll be a star in the league?
a star. He'll be a star. He'll be the star on the team. I don't know if he'll be a star in the NFL, if that makes sense.
So you said Teddy Bridgewater. Is that his? Is that your cap for him? Like you're like, I think his max is Teddy Bridgewater.
I think he can have a Teddy Bridgewater career. Like Teddy and the Vikings had his shots. Like
Yeah.
Teddy in Minnesota, they were better than good, right? They were a little bit above
He
average.
also had AP though.
And that's what I was kind of get to. He need he's going to need talent around him
Talent
for
around him.
sure.
Correct. I got
Like
you.
there's no he's not a carry you quarterback. Like he's not like a Josh. Like he can't carry a team, in my opinion. You know what I mean? He needs some players, and just like all quarterbacks need players. You know what I mean? We didn't really see Jalen really take that step until he had the world around him. You know what I'm saying?
True.
So, but when now that we've seen somebody like Jalen Hurts is like, you see he has some it, right? He has that it,
Mhm.
and I feel like Shador has always been told that he's had it,
Mhm.
but he's never had it.
It's a good point.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So he walks like he has it, but he doesn't. And that's fine because you got to have confidence in yourself. And when your dad's Deion Sanders, you have to walk around like you have it.
Mhm.
Like if I'm Deion, I'm telling my son the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, boy, you're special.
Yeah.
You have
And he is
gifts.
special.
Yeah, no, he is. You have gifts and genes and things that are built in your bloodline that nobody else has because you come from me. So I get that kind of but he's got to find his own way, right? He's I mean, they all, like all of them do. When all of them fall out of the greats, you gotta damn, she must be wearing something crazy, huh?
No, I was wondering where the hell my Eagles championship thing went.
Okay. I'm about to say, I thought you was looking at the lady up and down. I was like, oh, she must be
No,
wearing something nice for you.
I had an Eagles thing
I'm
up
about to
there. I'm
say,
wondering where
damn,
it went.
we about to lose Humble. We about to take off.
I'm sorry. I'm looking at the camera. I see it. I'm like, where'd it go?
That's funny. That's funny.
Sorry about that.
Oh no, you good, man. But yeah, no, I think that's what about Shador. But it wouldn't surprise me if he falls out of the top 5 and they go in a different direction and
Yeah,
they just don't believe in him. They believe he's about himself and the
that's the problem.
show.
That's not good.
And I think that could be an issue. But when you see people like that and you talk to their teammates and they say they're so far from the truth,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So what he shows outside could, be whatever. But what he's in that locker room, can he command and huddle? Can he get people to follow him? Can he lead a team and then go out there and execute? That's what motherfuckers care about. Like when he walks in that locker room, them motherfuckers don't care that your dad was Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
They respect it,
Yeah.
but they really don't give a shit. Can you come in and lead this team and take us to where we need to go? That's what we need. That's what we want.
Now let me ask you, because this is now going to be a different type of youth right now, right? These kids right now, NIL money coming in, hot shots. You know what I'm saying? Like this, they get into this next level, and this isn't
These
like
boys got money. Did you see that
these
one
dudes
clip
got money, man.
that Brandon Marshall showed? Did you see that?
No. Mm-mm.
What's the boy Smith from Ohio State, right? The
Yeah.
receiver.
Mhm.
They compared bank accounts. Tell me why this boy got more money in his bank account than Brandon Marshall do. Brandon Marshall made over $80 million in his NFL career, and he got more money. That shit was such a funny clip because Brandon Marshall was cracking up. Yo, this little nigga got more money than me. You know what I mean? In my account. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's different now. So I guess that's something that I guess there'll be a change of guard a little bit, and some of these guys will have to these organizations will have to adjust to that. But it's just a change of guards because you want your players to come in a little bit hungry, right? To want to learn, to not be stuck in what they are. I think that's going to be a big transition, man, for a lot of these kids that aren't special but are good enough to be a pro.
Yeah.
And I guess the adjustment will have to be from some of these scouts and some of these up front office uh, organizations in the front office. I think they're going to have to kind of adjust to that because these kids, man, it's a little bit different. They're coming in, they got their diamonds on their neck and their and all this stuff, and it's like, I'm here, and it's really like, man, this is a job interview.
Yeah.
And this ain't basketball, right? This is not the NBA. It's a little bit different. NFL is not it's not the same. So I'm interested to see what's going to happen.
Yeah. Sorry about your loss today. My condolences, brother. Lost my uncle today. Big Eagles fan.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry about that.
But glad you're an Eagles fan, man. But sorry that your uncle got his wings today. It's
For
unfortunate.
sure. But he saw his Eagles win. And that's
He
one
did.
thing for sure.
He
As an
did.
Eagles fan, he saw his Eagles win.
He definitely did. He definitely did. And it's funny, man. You hit the oops, the alleys. You know what I mean?
Got something
You know
for
what I
me?
mean? You always got something with the alleys, man. You was just talking about basketball, right? Let's talk about. We had talked about this last week on the last show about who could come out of the East and the West. And one of those teams out of the West that we had kind of talked about was Dallas, the Mavericks. And yeah, now that shit is all gone.
Good night.
Because the boy Kyrie got hurt. I haven't seen this yet, but I believe this is after he got hurt. I saw a video.
Amazing moment, man. Amazing moment.
I saw a video of him getting hurt, and I'm like, that's not. I don't want to show that. That's a little tasteless. I don't want to kind of sit here and watch somebody get hurt, especially if I'm a fan of. But let's look at this amazing moment of Kyrie showing just grit and how much he loves this game of basketball.
Called, yeah, because security walked on the court over the Mavs. Now,
You got to get him off the floor.
Yeah, it's fine. Like, take the tag. Who cares?
I mean,
this is
obviously the
afterwards.
other
I
thing that
didn't
you
do it.
would have done is as soon
Yeah,
as
this
they
is
put
after
the ball
free
in
throw.
play, you
This is
handle
after the free throw. So, messed up the clip a little bit. Took the wrong clip. But as you guys can see, Kyrie Irving was being helped off the court, but had his Kobe Bryant moment.
rather poignant imagery that Anthony Davis.
He had a injury and he couldn't really stand on two legs, and he was helped off the court, but he had got fouled in the play, and he went and shot 2 free throws. And there's a classic thing on the second free throw. Not only did he make both free throws, when the second free throw, you could see him whisper the thing, "Thank you, God." And I think it's just symbolic of his growth and his maturity. But not even that. Shout out to the Mavericks fans. I want to say Dallas fans, the Mavericks fans that was in that building that showed him a lot of love for what he was trying to do and kind of hold that franchise up while AD was trying to come back. 38 minutes, over 38.5 minutes over the last 6 games was what Kyrie Irving was playing. He tops in the league. Actually, no, I think it was more than. I may have been, because how long's AD been out? Almost a couple weeks,
And
right?
AD's now shut down. I think they're shutting him down.
Oh, they shut him down? Well, yeah, it makes sense to shut him down now.
Yeah.
But I actually think it was more than that. I think it might have been almost 2 weeks. But at that age, the question's starting to come up, bro. And let me see what you think. Knowing Kyrie's injury history, do you think they kind of ran him down, like ran him to the ground?
No. I want to first say, I commend Kyrie Irving and the turnaround that he has had throughout his career. I think he's always been a conscious young man. I think it was a lot of misunderstanding with him and his presence and presenting that. Some people aren't looking for that. And I think when you're looking at when you are in the entertainment business, which basketball is and all sports are, people look for you to do the sport and not look at you as a human being that has other interests and things like that. And I think
intelligence is scary.
Right. So I think for him being as conscious as he is, I think that'll be my lasting moment of Kyrie Irving and how I would always look at
Do you
him.
think it's over?
No. I think he's
okay.
As far as I really commend that moment. And I wish we can roll that tape when he said,
let me
"Thank
see
you,
if I
God."
can find it. Yeah,
I thought that was a big moment because within his pain, knowing that he has a serious injury, to still praise the Lord for him being where he's at and be able to knock these 2 free throw shoots down and hobble off the field. It just lets me know that he's just a conscious human being regardless. And I think that's important. So for me, I think I want to give him his praises on that. As far as him being ran down, no, I mean, it's a basketball team that's on the second half of the season with less than about 20 games left, and they're trying to make a run for the playoffs. And you got to do what you got to do. I'm sure he wants to play in the postseason, so I don't think they ran him down. He had Luka. There's not much you can get ran down. He had Luka pretty much ever since he got there. You had good solid bigs. They had a team that can. They went to the finals last year.
Yeah.
So it's I don't think they ran him down. I think it was his time to shine. He was trying to give everything he can give to keep him alive while he hold the ship up until AD got back. And it just so happens he had a freak injury where he drove to the rim like he do all the time and tweaked his knee, and it ended up being an ACL tear.
It was pretty crazy when I heard when I saw he got injured, and it was like, damn, you got an ACL? That's crazy. ACL tear. But I was able to pull the video here real quick. So let me I think that's the video. Make sure I get it. And just, like you said, powerful moment.
Yeah, very quick, very subtle, but it was just a moment.
Yeah. It reminds me of any UFC fans out there. Idris, not Alessandro. I forget his how you pronounce it correctly. And he was in a fight, and it was the last round, and you could see him muffled his word, face all kind of.
Yeah, I would die for this, right?
Yeah. He said, Izzy. He said, I'm prepared to die.
I'm prepared to die.
I'm prepared to die. You know what I mean? And those are just warriors. Just warriors who love their craft and they give everything they got. And Kyrie's one of them. Let's take a look.
Immediately. It's just unfathomable. All the injuries.
The crowd recognizes what's happening here.
That gives you chills.
It does. He's that guy.
He is that
guy. Was it against the Kings? Yeah.
Kings.
Here, pin drop. You know what I mean?
For those wondering why is he shooting the free throws, if there's a possibility of him coming back to the game,
He wouldn't be
he
able.
has to shoot these free
That's
throws.
exactly right.
With 2:35 left in the first quarter, Kyrie goes for the line.
Crazy.
And obviously, at the end of that, he can't move from that spot. He has to be helped off the court. So
Yeah.
it is a Kobe moment. You know, Kobe moment. It represents, Kobe blew his Achilles, and he didn't know what happened to his leg, but he blew his Achilles. He was fouled. He had to go to the free throw line to shoot those final free throws and walk to the line and shot him and walked off the court. It just shows, like you say, warrior mentality and
Black Mamba mentality.
yeah. But I wish him the best, man. I wish Kyrie the best. Hope he get back out there.
Yeah, I hope a speedy recovery for sure.
Yeah. I think he's fine. I think he got a long career ahead of him still.
Yeah, was he 32, 31, somewhere in there?
Yeah, he got a good.
But he's been in the league since what, 19, 18?
Played 1 year at Duke. Then he played pretty much that year. And,
Yeah, so it got to be, 19, right? At least 19, 20. Yeah.
Yep.
A lot of miles on them legs, man. A lot of miles on them legs. And you know what happens when you get a lot of miles? Get tired. Sometimes you got to take a knee. Sometimes you got to take a knee. And we're going to switch gears, man. We're going to go to boxing. Big fight. Roach versus Tank.
This is crazy.
You see what I did there? You see how I set it up? You see the setup?
I didn't know where he was going. That's
you
a lot.
Know where I was going?
I'm like, wait, I don't know. But,
yeah, you see where we go? He said it's set up, man. Sometimes you got to throw it off the backboard to yourself. You know what I mean?
There you go. I got you.
And it's very controversial. We had talked about how to bet the fight, right? I thought Tank should win, and then talked to somebody I trust and found out there was some turmoil, right? There was a lot going on in his camp during this fight with him and his trainer, and then him having to move his camp. And then the guy, Roach, he was fighting. They sparred a lot, so they kind of knew each other to an extent. And it ended up in a draw. But always boxing, always controversy. You let me know what you think. Okay. It's not going to play. Let's see what we got here. Why didn't I play? Oh, there we go. We'll go like this.
Oh, and that right, but Davis took off some of the steam of the punch, but still, Roach leaned with that. He took a knee. He took a knee. What is he doing?
He forgot his.
He said, what's going on? So what I see here, right before he takes a knee, he definitely looks at this ref. This is the funny ref too. So right there, he looks at the ref. He's looking at the ref. And I don't know if he's trying to get the ref to stop the fight, but in a fight, when you take a knee, it is supposed to be a knockdown or counted as a knockdown. Now, I saw one video. I haven't looked it up. Not one video. I saw a boxer come out and say that you are allowed to take a knee. You're allowed to take a knee. Actually, no, let's do this live, bro. Let's see. Use your favorite guy's account. Let's see. Can I do it here? Yeah, I can do it here. Let's add this, John. Let's do it live. Why not do it live? I actually do like X's AI. All right. Let's see. Are you allowed to take a knee? Knee in a boxing match? Damn, that's a lot to read. Yeah, here it is. If a boxer drops to one knee, it's typically treated as a knockdown. The referee will start counting. If the boxer doesn't rise and show they continue before the count ends, the fight can stop.
Correct.
So a knee is often a strict move, like signaling, blah, 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 blah. There's no rule saying. Okay, so there's no rule saying you can't do it, but it's not a free action either. It triggers the knockdown protocol. You risk losing if you don't get up. If you're asked about a specific boxing code and niche scenario, let me know. I can dig deeper. All right, let's ask. Would you got anything? I'm trying to think, or is it pretty self-explanatory at this point?
Man, it's a motherfucking knockdown. What we talking about? We ain't got to search. It was what it was. He conceded at that moment. Whatever reason why he conceded.
He had grease in his hair. He said
I don't care if
the woman fucked up his braids.
Came down and smacked him in the face. In that match, that's considered a knockdown. The ref started going over and counting. I don't know why the ref didn't continue to count. I don't even know why he asked him what's going on, man. Because at the end of the day, it's a knockdown. He conceded because he did not want to get hit because of the fact that maybe grease got in his eye. But you can't take a knee, and it cannot not be a start of a count for a knockdown. And that was an embarrassment to the boxing league. But they don't have no integrity, nor do they have any soul. So this is why the boxing league, and this is why boxing is so bad. Just simple stuff like this. Roach got robbed, and at least in that round, for sure. I don't know if that would have propelled him to victory. It was a draw. I would think that knockdown would have added a point. That means that he probably would have won the fight.
Did you get the fight? I didn't get the fight.
No, I did not. I don't pay money for fights unless I'm really, really intrigued.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, we typically, me and my guy, we usually always talk about boxing. I'm pretty up on the scene, and if you're from Philadelphia, you know, boxing is huge in Philadelphia.
I will be at the Boots fight, though. I will be at the Boots fight.
When's the Boots fight?
Next month, right? May. Where are we in April? Where are we at? March?
Yeah,
it's coming up next month or two. Yeah.
Wait, where is it? AC?
I think it's AC. Yes.
Who's he fighting?
You asked me a lot of questions. I don't know. I'm just going to see Boots.
Well, you throw it.
I said I'm going to see Boots. I didn't say he was going to fight. I said I'm going to see. I just know I'll be there. That's all.
That's a good fight. That's a decent fight to go to. I might have to go. Might have to get down. Are you going there with the lady?
We'll see. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Who's it? Boots first.
Boots first. Stan Nassus. I don't know how to pronounce that.
That's what I said. I'm going to see Boots. I ain't say I was going to see the.
Yeah. What's tickets looking like?
Free for me. That's why I said I'm going. So hopefully,
oh wow,
we'll see what these seats are looking like.
Oh damn, what's that hookup?
Yeah, man. We'll talk offline. But they can't give.
That's a humble hookup.
It is very humble. Very humble.
All right. Very humble. I hear that. We got some more boxing news.
Well, hold on. Let's go back to this tank because I know we about to get over to the.
Okay, my bad.
You didn't say what you thought about it. What did you think? Was it a knockdown or not?
No, it should be considered a knockdown. He took a knee. It doesn't. Yeah. No, I didn't know if that was true or not. That you were allowed to take a knee. So what the dude had said, and it looked like he asked AI, was that the action of taking a knee can be done in a boxing as long as it's not by a knockout. So if you just take a knee, just to take a knee, then supposedly you can do that. But I've never seen that, and I never heard that before. That's why I looked it up on AI.
What are you taking a knee to do? Get a break? What do we take? Yeah. So therefore, none of that none of that matters. For instance, if I'm boxing you and I'm in over a fight, and I take a knee, that means I'm conceding myself from being harmed, right? I'm letting the other fighter know, hey, I'm in some type of distress. Like AI said, I'm taking a knee. That means that you're saying that anybody can just take a kney at any time? No.
I just read what the brother said.
Yeah, the brother's wrong. Tell that brother to read another book. Because he's not understanding what that means. Yeah. Unfortunately, the boxing commission needs to step in and say what it was, and I think that's what he should do. But at the end of the day, what's happening is boxing got so bad, and now I'm gonna give you another layup or oop, so you can go into this next topic.
Yeah, got so bad we need a whole new league with a guy who don't pay fighters.
He says he pays fighters.
He don't pay no motherfucking fighters.
He says he's gonna bring that same strategy into boxing now.
It's gonna be terrible. Let's take a look.
Guys, we have just done a deal to start a new boxing league with Turkey, who absolutely loves the sport of boxing.
I am very happy today. I give the flag of boxing to the best man who can handle it. He have a tough job now, but I am sure he will be delivering to the people and the fans the magnificent league and get boxing great again.
The model is proven to deliver the fights that the fans want to see. The best will fight the best, and the fighters will continue to move up the rankings and become world champions. We will continue to make announcements on where you can watch and all the rest of the details on the business as we get closer to the launch. I'll see you soon.
So, minus the whole, make boxing great again slogan. I think this is smart by Dana, though, because he's losing fighters to other promotions that have to deal with boxing. And obviously, those guys are going to get more money. Francis Ngannou, when he was champion and he was main eventing, he wasn't even making $1 million a fight. You know what I mean? And they're grossing and breaking, house records and seat records and pay-per-view records for fights that he's doing. So, I think that most people are right. Dana doesn't pay his fighters, but now for some of those older guys that can't do MMA anymore, this is a way for them to stay in the fight game. This is a way for them to still get an earning and make a living for their families. And I think this makes a lot of sense because now he can control that flow of people who go out the door. If you're a mega superstar, the Connors, the John Jones, the Tom Aspinalls. I'm trying to think who else is out there. I forget some of the other names off the top of my head. If you're those guys and you're at the top of you're at the peak, then yeah, you can go boxing because you're going to box somebody, whoever, Jake Paul or something like that. But for those other guys, those kind of okay guys, who are doing like bare knuckle fighting, like those guys, they can go into the boxing league. Right. Even, you see ex NFL players.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who are now getting into more into the fight game and they're noticing that all the weights and all the steroids they take don't do shit for that chin.
Yeah.
And them boys are getting knocked out. You remember how crazy we heard Greg Hardy was?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like how the crazy stories, like, damn, that motherfucking nuts.
Crazy.
And he get in that ring, jaw soft.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's different. They got Frank Gore now. Frank Gore's out there fighting.
Frank Gore's out there fighting too. I think did the dude quit second fight?
He knocked him out.
Or did he knock him out? He knocked him out?
Oh, he knocked him down for sure.
Yeah. I thought he quit. I thought he got knocked. He kind of quit. But regardless,
it's an opportunity.
It's an opportunity. It doesn't make sense. But
I think one thing Dana does well is that it's about the league, right? So nothing's bigger than a league. It's kind of like a NFL mindset. The difference with that though is not a team of people. You're talking about individuals, right? So it makes it a little bit different. I think that as the league continues to expand and money gets bigger, you should also now put that back into the fighters. I think these leagues are good for the lower fighters, the lower middle.
Yeah.
But once you get to the peak and it's like, hey, bro, I'm the reason why everybody's tuning in and you're still capping them. Like you said, Gondo only not even getting $1 million. Come on. Right. Like,
well, there's always a hungry lion behind them. That's the thing.
Correct.
And it's a hungry lion that these guys are fighting because they come from that. They have nothing and everything's on the line. Like all the fighters' stories are all remotely the same. They don't, they fought in the streets or they've been fighting all their lives. They've been on welfare. They've been poor. They pour everything into this, and this is all they got. I think there was a decent video with The Rock with a South African guy who was trying to be a fighter, and he had nothing. He had his bag. He was sleeping in the gym where he trained, right? Because he couldn't afford a house, and The Rock gave him a house. But I don't think that guy cut it. But I mean, that's just the fight game. It really is.
Yeah, and I think when you get into boxing, it's much different from UFC. I know you can have a lot of losses at UFC. Obviously, not too many, right? You don't want to be that guy, but it's because UFC, anything can happen. One knockout real quick, or you can be submitted. There's so many different ways to lose a fight. Boxing, I know they always talk about, it's about being an undefeated record or 1 or 2 losses, but it's hard that when you get to a point in boxing, because it's a standard game, you can't be great with 5, 7, 8 losses. Right, like nobody wants to see him. Nobody wants to see that guy. So the game is still the same. It's just that I don't know. We'll see. I'm kind of with you. I don't think the league will be great unless you get the big names in there. So
he knows how to find people who want to fight, because there's always people. There's always hungry people out there trying to fight, trying to make some money.
But it's not dirty enough. It's not ugly enough. Like, it's not ugly. The game of boxing is not ugly enough to that, like UFC, right? For me to see random
like the Paul brothers too, right? Because they're always talking shit about he don't pay his fighters, he don't give them good health care, all this stuff that was probably true. And I think this is a FU to the Paul fighters. Like, oh, you think you guys can run a boxing promotion too? Watch this. Watch me. He just got, you know what I mean? That guy is fucking filthy rich. Turk.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He is rich as hell. Every new I forget. Oh shit! What's the dude's? You always saw him in Floyd's fights. Fuck, I forget his name. My man knows his name. But when you watch these fights, you see the same people. Yeah. You see the same faces.
Yeah, the twin brothers be behind them.
Yeah, and the promoters and things like that. Yeah.
But that's why the game is trash, because they don't fight. The fight game they stopped fighting the play. They should be fighting the top boxers, and they've been holding out. And I think that's the problem. And this is an issue. Nobody wants to lose. Nobody wants that L on their record. They feel like they can't get the next big fight because everybody's looking for that big mega fight, and then that's what happens. So nobody wants to lose, and you're not getting these people to fight where they should be fighting. I do think that Dana will get that to happen if his league builds up to that. He'll force these guys to actually fight each other. But the question is, how big would these fighters be in that league? That's the question.
Yeah, I think he'll get a couple big fights, because he'll get a couple UFC homegrown stars to fight.
Okay.
Right. I mean, speaking of fighting, the battle and the lines have been drawn over and over and stepped over and disrupted, and the political landscape is just insane with the fighting that's going on right now. We try not to get too political, but I think it's a little bit necessary for this next topic with a sportscaster going and getting into politics in Stephen A. Smith. And there's a lot of clips about Stephen A. Smith and what he's saying, but I thought this one was interesting about what he said and just the state of what he sees political. And don't want to talk about policies or anything like this. I just want to know where you think he will, if he does go into politics, where do you think he will align himself with in terms of a political party? I think he might go independent, but let's listen to the video. They kind of clipped it a little bit, but I think the message is kind of interesting of what we assume he would be versus of what he's saying.
Hey, talking about Kamala, please go ahead and play the clip and let's react to it.
The American people aren't falling for it any longer. I voted Democrat, and I got to tell you something right now. I don't like the fact that I did. I don't like what I'm seeing. I don't want to hear about, oh, we're about law. We're about a law. Nobody's above the law. Nobody's above the law. But then you go out and you pardon your son and you try to blame everybody else for it. I don't want to hear about defund the police. I don't want to hear about, what, there should be open borders. I don't want to hear this stuff. And I don't think most of the American people want to hear that. And I'm no longer interested in, nor do I believe any of us should be interested in listening to a bunch of fear mongering to tell us who we shouldn't vote for. Why don't you come up with a plan that tells us why we should vote for you?
Everybody now is changing their tune. Everybody. You know why? Because the market is telling them to. Okay, he's still a Democrat, true and true. Here's my question: you don't think he knew everything that she was saying was BS? 1,000%. That's the him hating.
Yeah, I don't. The guys, I don't know. We need to watch that guy. It's more on Stephen A. Smith. So there's a lot more clips, right? I haven't followed his political conversation as much, but it's starting to grow. I know he was on The View not too long ago.
Yesterday.
Or was it yesterday? Was it? Oh, that clip was from yesterday. I didn't know what the date was.
The View, not the clip you showed.
No. That one's from Patrick David Beverly or something like that. No, Patrick something. I forget his last name.
Yeah.
That clip was from The View when he was going.
Yeah, yesterday or Tuesday.
Okay. I didn't know it was that recent, but I saw that, and then on his own podcast, he's starting to add a lot more political conversation to it. So he would typically vote Democrat, but you're seeing him kind of distance himself a little bit from the Democratic Party. I don't think he's going. Obviously, he goes Republican, but if he does go, what do you see his kind of affiliations kind of line? I know obviously we have so much conversation about politically, but what do you see his conversations going? Well, where do you see he would align? And then second part of that question is, he's already come out and said he knows he's not qualified for the job. So I guess if he knows he's not qualified, why keep going per se, I guess? Or like, what do you think he's just organically following where it's taking him and see where it goes? Like, what's the plan? Like, what's his plan, you think?
Okay, so I mean, I've never met Stephen A. Smith. I don't know Stephen A. Smith. As a matter of fact, I did meet Stephen A. Smith one time years ago. I was in the store in Cherry Hill Mall, and he had a phone issue outside the store I was in. He was there, and I walked out and I spoke to him. This is years ago.
Is he tall?
I feel like we were looking eye to eye a little bit. It wasn't like he's not a little person, so he got a little height. Yeah. That was my interaction with him. Obviously, I follow First Take. I like Stephen A.
Agreed.
I know he has a lot of controversial comments he may have had over the past. I didn't agree with what he said in that clip. I think that's an older clip. I think he feels that way. I think he had a couple conversations going through this campaign and the election and post-election. I think he started talking to a lot of people. I think one of his good friends are down is, I think, the governor of Baltimore or mayor of Baltimore. I think he has a lot of conversations with them, and I think the opportunity for him to possibly run, because he is such a potent person in the United States with his brass opinions and him being out and then kind of transitioning a lot of his own personal podcasts to a little bit more on the political side. I would say that he's taking it very seriously. You're seeing him now moving around on different platforms, whether it's Fox News, whether it's CNBC.
It's almost like he's campaigning.
C-SPAN is like he's moving around to see where the filter is, and you're actually seeing his popularity in politics have now jumped over a lot of these Democratic potential candidates. I think he now sits above Fetterman right now. So he's getting a lot of.
And when you say that, is there like an actual list?
Yeah. So on The View, they were going down a list of like how his momentum, as far as where they're seeing momentum behind. Like people are like, oh yeah, it's like this might be. Oh yeah, this will be interesting. I like to hear what he got to talk about. And I think what he's doing is he's always been, he didn't really care what he says, right? So he has that Trump-ism, I would say, and I think he's kind of taking on that on a different level, like just saying, hey, I am a Democrat, but I don't like what I've been seeing from my people or from my group. And it's time to make a change. I don't want us to be, too over liberal, right? Like we've gotten over a little too liberal, and I don't like what I'm seeing here. And people are looking at me like, well, won't you do something about it? And I'm like, well, maybe I should. And I think that's where it's starting to go. So the momentum is carrying. I think he probably would run. Obviously, if he goes as an independent, you're not going to win as an independent. So if you're going to take it seriously, you're going to need the backing, you're going to need the funding and the donations, and you're going to need a lot of power behind you. And I think on the Democratic side, he will probably push forward, but it'll be more moving that far left, moving it probably more center left to more conservative, because he has a lot of conservative views.
So his superpower is his debating skills.
Correct.
Right. So he can get on the stage with probably anybody.
Correct.
As long as he's knowledgeable enough of the subject.
And you see how quick he's learning now. Like he's getting into it, and I think he's really studying. I think he's really like talking to people to kind of understand. A lot of stuff he's saying is real. It's just sometimes it may turn somebody off. That's the question.
Yeah,
but it seems like America.
He's not sugarcoating it. I think
Right. It seems like America wants that.
I think they do. I think they want somebody to tell them what it is. Like, don't sugarcoat it. Don't lie to me. Let me know what it is. And I think that is where he will shine. Moving forward, if he decides, because I'm not sure if any politician could stand next to him on the mic.
Right.
And I think he knows that.
And it seems like the country doesn't want a politician, right? We're right now okay with the government being destroyed. So obviously we're saying we don't like the government as far as people that voted for Trump. Trump has said he's going to do these things. And this is what people want to see. Now, I don't know how it's going to happen when it's going to turn out 4 years from now. If we're going to be begging for government to come back, please come back. But at this moment right now, I think Stephen A., he doesn't need to be qualified. The president of the United States says right now, when he first ran 2016, he wasn't qualified, right?
Correct.
So, people are not voting on qualifications. It seems like we're trying to pull ourselves away from the status quo. Stephen A. could have an opportunity, a real serious opportunity, as he continues to learn what politics is about.
Yeah, I thought about that too, about how could this not be any different when Trump first ran, right? He wasn't qualified.
Correct.
At all. But I think the differentiator there is that Stephen A. called himself out and say, I'm not qualified for this job. Yeah. Trump has always said and felt like he could be president. And I think that's a big difference.
This Stephen A. 6 weeks into the administration right now. This may not be Stephen A. in the next 3 years, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right now he's saying he's not qualified, but he could be getting himself aligned with the right people. I've noticed that, his own podcast, how he's interviewing a lot of people. So he's gaining knowledge. He's like really kind of, I feel like he's diving into this, and it's early enough to kind of build it onto his stature as far as wanting to get into politics. He has plenty of time to do that.
I think it's more admirable that he is able to go from, what was that? He didn't write in the Daily News. He wrote in the Enquirer, right?
Enquirer, yeah.
The Enquirer, yeah. Going from a cap, in Philly, writing for the Enquirer for over a decade, to now possibly looking at a presidential nomination is, an insane story to even just, talk about, a book about. And I think it's admirable. I think it's something that can be inspiring, moving forward for sure. And, as a brother, I'd go, go. But, prepare yourself as best you fucking can, because you're going to walk into a world that ain't about stats. And, well, actually, no, let me take that back. It is kind of about stats, but winning and losing is a little bit different than going to the next game. You know what I mean? Especially what we're kind of seeing, what's happening now, and all the kind of shifting of, how politics is really taking over. Because I think my son was watching a wrestling event, and everywhere you go outside of the U.S., they are booing the national anthem. I think in Canada, they took American whiskey off the shelves. So you're seeing some of that aftermath, that kind of cause, and now this is the effect happening. So I think he just needs to be fully aware of that and those decisions, and understanding that, like you said, got to learn how to talk to these people to a point. To a point. If you want to get something done, some people have to. You just got to find your style that works. You know what I mean? I think that's what is going to be important, and maybe how you go about it now might not be the right style, or it could be, like you said, the way that we're going away from government, but we know how everything switched. I think he said this on The View. I didn't understand what he meant by the term mandate. When
I
he
actually
said
thought that was probably my biggest argument with him, but I actually, in ways, I understand what he's saying. I did. I
yeah,
thought that
it
was
was a landslide win, but I don't know. I didn't understand what
no,
mandate.
no, it wasn't a landslide win by the number, and I
Right.
think that's so, and that's the issue. So Democrats are saying it's not a mandate because he only
What's a
won by one,
mandate? I didn't get that. Like, what does he
pretty much
mean by
total
that?
control, like a wipeout, right?
Okay.
Like for
Okay.
instance, as far as the number saying, like for instance, when Obama beat what was it,
McCain.
McCain? Right.
Yeah.
That was a mandate. Like pretty much the world wanted Obama to be our president,
Yeah.
which gives him a mandate to kind of do what he wants to do because everybody's behind him. That's what the mandate is ultimately about. I think I think the narrative of Trump having a mandate has been pushed to give him excuses to do a lot of different things. I was always on a thing as far as he doesn't have a mandate. That's what I thought. I'm like, he doesn't have a mandate. The election was won by 1.5%, right? It was actually very close. It looked like it was lopsided, but it really wasn't once all of the votes tallied. But I thought Stephen A made a good argument on the other end of that, was saying that, well, he won every swing state, he won the majority, he won the popular, that the most important stat was saying the increase in black,
Yeah.
Spanish, and others increased in majorities, big cities, and that's what kind of gave him the mandate. So I thought it was a good argument. The numbers don't tell you that, but the argument is also valid too, though, right? Like I would
Yeah.
think that,
I kind of agree with him because he didn't lose anything,
right?
even though the percentages were small, like you're saying.
Mhm.
But he didn't lose. It wasn't like he lost like the black vote. Like he didn't lose. Like all his, like if you look at all his markers, they all went up across the board.
Right.
So that, I guess that makes sense.
Besides black women, right?
Yeah.
Gotta
Okay.
give them the credit. Black
Yeah,
women
okay.
stayed at 90-something percent.
Oh yeah. He didn't say.
They're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
right. But I mean, I get, but I'm saying I still don't agree with the mandate. But now listening to his argument, I
You
understand his argument.
what he's saying. Yeah.
Right? It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? We won pretty good because we hit these numbers.
Right. They probably exceeded the numbers what they thought they were.
Correct, what they expect. So
what they expected.
But I think, back to Stephen A. I think if he puts if he really decides that this is what he wants to do, I think he can take it seriously. I think, like you say, he's a gift of gab. He can talk to people. He's obviously in these big rooms as far as on the entertainment side, so he understands how to talk on different waves if he has to. But most importantly about Stephen A, I think he cares about people, and I think that's the difference between him and Trump, in my opinion. That he actually will care about the people. Now, once he gets into politics, how that math works,
Yeah.
I don't know, because there's a lot of sacrifice that you got to make. But I think he's for the people, and I think he could have an opportunity because obviously we don't want career politicians.
Who's on that, before we get out of here? Who's on the top of that list that he's trying to climb?
So I think you got a lot of people like Federer because he has that kind of like coming in with the sweatshirt, and he's like kind of like able to
talking
talk
about
on
the big guy.
Yeah, believe it or not,
As president.
The one that's for.
I thought he was sick.
No, he's good. I think he had like a stroke or something like that.
That would be dying almost.
No, it's not dying. He's recovered.
Yeah, if you have a stroke, you almost die. You can almost die.
He said dying. He's not dying.
He looks like he's dying.
I think he can be much more healthier. I think that's what he's be working on. But I think
he's a PA.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But he's also kind of. He's a Democrat, but he's a big Trump supporter, though, right?
He's not a Trump supporter. He's
let me tell you, he's a bipartisan guy.
Right. Yeah. He works. He has views on both sides.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Yeah.
He'll come to the table, and I think that's why people are looking at him. Obviously, Shapiro is a big name.
He's all
too.
PA boys too.
I mean, these are guys that are just captivating, I guess, our party. We're just in a bad space, so we're looking for a lot of people, opportunity that can kind of change.
You think Kamala comes try to run again? I know they was
I
talking
think
about her
Kamala
governor.
has committed to that. I think she said she's going to commit and not go for governor and kind of try to make another run at it.
Oh, she is going to run.
That's what I think. That's the latest news, as of this week.
Ah, okay.
So I think she's not going to go for governor. She's going to kind of just work on.
But this time she has to actually win the nomination, though, right?
Correct, which makes sense. But now she has 4 years to do it. Right now she has the back. Obviously, she has a little momentum kind of coming in from obviously what we just. If this is going the way it's been going these last 6 weeks, well, we can be sure that there's going to be a change of tide.
Yes, if people feel that, if people really feel it, then I
Yeah.
think so.
Well, people are feeling it right now. We'll see
I think
how it's gonna happen.
I think with COVID, with Biden and the uncertainty in vaccines, everybody felt that, and I think that's what swung it so hard. Because I was a Biden fan because it was a boring presidency, and that's good, right? To me, it wasn't a lot of things, or I wasn't even more aware of politics back then. There could have been. There was always that Russia thing and Biden's laptop, et cetera, et cetera. So, but I never really got into those stories.
Well, none of that matters no more now. I'll tell
Yeah,
you that.
none
We
of
talk
it.
about
Yeah,
Russia's laptops, and we got the president of the United States out here dancing in
yeah.
bed with we can't talk.
Well, it's crazy. I don't know what to believe with the whole Zelensky thing because it's like wishy-washy. First, like the whole situation happened in the White House, and then he talks about I don't know what the timeline. I should know the timeline. I don't know if that came after about America's daughters and sons and war. And then after that, I saw something that he was ready to come back and talk peace. And now I see like, nah, scratch that. We're not doing that. Like it's a lot of it could be a lot of misinformation out there, and you just don't know what's factual and what's not. And even the one thing that where he talked about the sons and the daughters of America, it wasn't an interpretation of his voice. It was a woman's voice. So I don't even know if that was the real interpretation of what the dude was actually saying. You know what I'm saying?
No, and so one thing I would say to our viewers that's watching, please do your research of things that you're hearing. Please fact check as much as you can do. Find sources that are reliable. I know it's hard to do that in this time right now because there's a lot of misinformation. To what you're saying, Zelensky did say that. The question, but the context of the answer was based off of if Ukraine was to fail. And that's what he was saying. If we were to fall, it will impact U.S. sons and daughters because eventually we will be at war. And that's what he was saying. It was nothing like, sons or U.S. sons or daughters, if they don't do it, if they don't. He was saying, if we fall, it's going to eventually trickle to you. And that's what he's saying. That's pretty much what he said when he was in the White House. He was telling J.D. Vance before he was kept getting cut off, was saying it will hurt you. And that's when Trump jumped in and said, don't tell us what's going to happen here. Don't tell us what's going to happen here. He was just trying to let you know, like, if we're not successful in this, of continue to pushing back on Russia, it will eventually impact you, America. Don't think this pawn here is going to separate everything. And I think that's what happens. But anyway, it's rough. We're in a rough spot. We can go on and on about it.
I saw. Oh yeah, I heard that Pitbull starting to go. I heard you starting to rattle through. You was about to get going a little bit.
Yeah, man. Well, yeah. I mean, because we're in a rough spot. But Stephen A. Smith, if he's going to be our savior, I hope he was doing his homework for the next 4 years to be prepared for that. And
yeah, it'll be interesting. Because I think AOC has some buzz. I guess Bernie's out. It's funny. Before we go, if you haven't seen the new website, make sure you guys go to www.moneypotbetting.com. All the new merch is up. I'm not wearing the hoodie today, showing the, still flying high of your world champions. But make sure you guys go check that out. We got all kinds of new merch up. Go order something, man. Go order something. Summer's coming up, man.
Support.
Some kind of don't, gambling gear. If show what you about. So with Bernie, my boy, who's my boy? The damn, what the fuck is his name? The white guy I like, who talks kind of similar style, right? Just kind of straightforward, cut through.
From what we talking about? You talking about
from the guy who talks a lot of politician stuff. He's a I said I that's my guy because I like his style. I like his forward approach. What the hell is his name? Bald guy with the glasses. He's got the pivot.
Oh, you talking about Scott?
Yeah. What's his last name though?
Scott Galloway.
Galloway. It was funny. There was a video of Galloway, of somebody, and I thought about this too. He was like, the lady was like, "Why don't you run for president?" And it was interesting his response. a guy who knows himself. I don't know if it was candidly true or not. But he just said no, it's not for him. He doesn't like people.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that was a way to kind of sidestep it. I don't know. So I feel like he has. It seems like he has the knowledge, and he seems like he has a understanding of what younger men are going through or what they're looking for. And I think he feels that there's a vital importance of promoting that. It was just an interesting thing. I thought he would. I thought he'd be a great candidate, but he just said he was an introvert. So I didn't know if you saw that or not.
I didn't see it. I think Scott is good at what he does. I think politics is something you got to want to do.
Yeah, he was just like, nah. He's like I'm good.
Right. And sometimes you're not always true to yourself.
I can see I can see people getting lost.
Yeah, because there's so much politicking in politics, right? Like,
for sure,
you got to pander here, you got to pander there. You may feel this way, but you got to also, and that's the difference, right? And you got to really want to be able to do that. And some people don't want to be, exposed to potential corruption. Like, it's a lot, bro. It's a lot. It's a lot of, I can only imagine. I can only imagine.
I think it's I think he said that too. I think he said that there's and when he talked about Zelensky was just that pressure. You know what I mean? Like you can't imagine the pressure that man's under.
100%.
He has the weight of a country. He has somebody who could maybe help him. He has a wolf at his door. He's in the middle of a war. And he's looking for help from, people that he felt like was his friends and his allies, and things have shifted. People are dying. Like, I just couldn't imagine trying to sleep.
His life is on the line. And you know what I mean? Like, his life is literally on the line. And we don't know if he's going to be here another 5, 2, 3 years. And that's the craziest part about it, because of what's happening right now to his country. So
yeah,
I don't know, man. It's politics is nasty, brother.
It is. I've learned that this year. Believe that.
It's only been a couple weeks.
Nah, man. I'm like, shit. Like, sometimes I'm like, man, this shit ain't stressing. And then you find yourself, in the end of the day, it's like, damn, that was fucking stressing. Yeah. You know what I mean? After the conversation. So, but I hope you guys watched. I hope this didn't stress you out in terms of our conversation. I hope you had a good time. Listen to some of the stories that are going on there. I hope you had the same type of opinions and things like that. And we try to keep it live and try to keep it going. The betting show is coming back. My man, like you said, already kind of testing the waters with some of his betting in terms of NBA. So we're going to be looking at college. We're going to be looking at WNBA.
In March Madness coming up soon.
March Madness coming up. So make sure on Thursdays you look for those drops of those videos. Monday, the homie Ernie B was out sick, so Monday we'll be back to talk Eagles. And then, of course, make sure you guys look out for some educational videos that are coming out about how to get better as a gambler and as a side hustle. So make sure you guys hit that follow, hit that subscribe, hit that like button, show your boys some support. We are on our way, hopefully being as one of the go-to and one of the best gambling podcasts around. I'm Moss Money. That's Be Humble. Don't forget to hit the link down there. Make sure you check it out. We will see you guys next week for another episode of Gambling Nights. My son be doing that. He be getting out the car and hit me with the fuck out of here, young boy.